You know what nobody warned me about when I was pregnant? The fact that your feet might grow permanently bigger. Yeah, I said permanently. And that's just the beginning of what I wish someone had told me before I became a parent. Today, we're diving into the essential pregnancy and new parent tips that somehow never make it into those glossy parenting magazines or well-meaning advice from your Aunt Susan. If you're expecting or recently became a parent, stick around, because what I'm about to share could save you from some serious surprises and maybe even a few meltdowns. We're talking about the real stuff that happens behind closed doors, the things that catch even the most prepared parents completely off guard. Let's start with pregnancy, because honestly, those 9 months are full of surprises that nobody seems to mention. First up, your sense of smell is going to become superhuman, and not in a good way. I'm talking about being able to detect what your neighbour had for lunch 3 houses down. The smell of your favourite coffee might make you physically ill. And don't even get me started on how the scent of cooking onions can send you running to the bathroom. Here's another one that nobody talks about. Pregnancy brain is absolutely real, and it doesn't magically disappear after you give birth. You might find yourself putting the milk in the pantry and the cereal in the refrigerator. I once spent 20 minutes looking for my phone while I was talking on it. The hormonal changes during pregnancy literally affect your brain structure, so cut yourself some slack when you can't remember where you put your keys for the 3rd time today. And speaking of hormones, let's talk about the emotional roller coaster. Sure, everyone mentions mood swings, but what they don't tell you is that you might cry at dog food commercials or feel overwhelmed by the number of cereal options at the grocery store. These intense emotions aren't a sign that you're losing it. They're completely normal responses to the massive hormonal shifts happening in your body. Now, about that foot growth I mentioned earlier. Your feet can actually grow up to a full size during pregnancy due to the hormone relaxin, which loosens your ligaments. Some women find their feet return to normal size after pregnancy, but for many, this change is permanent. So before you donate all your pre-pregnancy shoes, maybe hold on to a few pairs in a larger size. Let's move on to something nobody prepared me for, the sheer exhaustion of the first trimester. People talk about being tired, but this isn't regular tired. This is the kind of exhaustion where you fall asleep standing up in the shower or while brushing your teeth. Your body is literally building another human being from scratch, so it makes sense that you'd need more rest than usual. Here's a practical tip that can save you money and frustration. Start buying maternity clothes earlier than you think you need them. Don't wait until your regular clothes become uncomfortable. Invest in a few key pieces like stretchy pants and supportive bras early on. Your comfort is worth more than trying to squeeze into pre-pregnancy jeans for a few more weeks. Now, let's talk about after the baby arrives, because that's when the real adventure begins. First, reality check. Those first few weeks are going to be a blur. You'll lose track of what day it is, whether you've eaten lunch, and sometimes even whether you've brushed your teeth. This is totally normal, and it gets better, but nobody really emphasizes just how disorienting those early days can be. Here's something crucial that often gets overlooked. Taking care of a newborn isn't just about feeding and changing diapers. You're going to spend a lot of time just holding and comforting your baby. Some babies have what's called the witching hour, a period, usually in the evening, where they cry inconsolably no matter what you do. This doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Some babies just need to cry, and your job is simply to be there with them. Sleep when the baby sleeps. You've probably heard this advice a million times, but here's what nobody tells you about it. Sometimes the baby only sleeps when being held. You might find yourself trapped under a sleeping infant for hours, afraid to move and wake them up. This is when you learn to appreciate the art of the one-handed meal and develop the ability to reach for things with your toes. Let's talk about feeding, whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding. If you're breastfeeding, it might not come naturally right away, and that's okay. It can take several weeks for both you and your baby to figure it out. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty if you need to supplement with formula or if breastfeeding doesn't work out for you. Fed is best, period. And if you're bottle feeding, here's a tip that can save your sanity. Invest in a good bottle warmer. Trying to heat bottles in hot water at 3 in the morning while your baby is screaming is not fun. Here's something about baby gear that nobody mentions. You don't need half the stuff on those baby registry lists. What you do need are the basics. Somewhere safe for the baby to sleep, something to feed them with, diapers, and clothes. Everything else can wait. Your baby won't know or care if their nursery looks like it belongs in a magazine. But there are a few items that are absolute lifesavers and worth investing in early. A good baby carrier or wrap can be invaluable for those babies who only want to be held. A white noise machine can help both you and your baby sleep better. And a comfortable nursing pillow isn't just for breastfeeding. It's great for bottle feeding too, and can provide support during those long feeding sessions. Let's address the elephant in the room: postpartum recovery. Whether you had a vaginal delivery or a C-section, your body has been through something major. Recovery takes time, and it's not linear. You might feel pretty good one day and then terrible the next. This is normal. Your body needs time to heal, and pushing yourself too hard, too fast, can actually set back your recovery. Here's what nobody tells new mums about the postpartum period. You might not feel an instant bond with your baby, and that's completely normal. Movies and social media make it seem like every mother falls head over heels in love the moment their baby is born. But for many women, that bond develops gradually over time. Don't feel guilty if you don't experience that immediate, overwhelming love. It doesn't make you a bad mother. The postpartum period can also bring unexpected emotional challenges. Baby blues affect up to 80% of new mothers and can include mood swings, crying spells, and feeling overwhelmed. These feelings typically peak around day 5 after delivery and resolve within 2 weeks. However, if these feelings persist or worsen, it could be postpartum depression, which requires professional help. Now, let's talk about the relationship changes that nobody really prepares you for. Having a baby changes everything, including your relationship with your partner. You're both exhausted, stressed, and adjusting to completely new roles. It's normal for there to be tension and disagreements about everything from feeding schedules to whose turn it is to change the diaper at 2 in the morning. Communication becomes more important than ever, but also more challenging when you're both running on 3 hours of sleep. Try to be patient with each other and remember that you're both learning as you go. Don't hesitate to ask for help from family and friends, and don't feel like you need to entertain visitors if you're not up for it. Here's a final piece of advice that I wish someone had told me. Trust your instincts. You're going to receive a lot of unsolicited advice from well-meaning people, and while some of it might be helpful, ultimately, you know your baby best. If something doesn't feel right, speak up. If a feeding or sleeping schedule isn't working for your family, change it. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to parenting. The journey of pregnancy and early parenthood is filled with surprises, challenges, and beautiful moments that nobody can fully prepare you for. But knowing what to expect can help you feel more confident and less alone during this incredible time. Remember, every parent was once exactly where you are now, figuring it out one day at a time. What surprised you most about pregnancy or early parenthood? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might be exactly what another parent needs to hear today.